In an interview with China View, Jennifer Yuh Nelson, director of Kung Fu Panda 2, says the Kung Fu Panda franchise will continue to be a tribute to Chinese culture with the creation of its third installment. Kung Fu Panda 2, released in 2011, brought in worldwide box office earnings of over $660 million. Nelson is also set to direct Kung Fu Panda 3, which is scheduled to debut in 2015. So what is the latest progress of the making of Kung Fu Panda 3?
We're very much in the early development process right now. We're doing storyboards and reels. So it takes a long time to make one of these films, about 3 years. So we're in the first year of the 3 years.
And what do you have any idea how what the story is about?
Oh yes, but that's a secret. Yes, we're having a great fun time thinking up the story, and really the characters guide us because the characters are so rich and so real to us. So we're just writing right now and working things out. It's meant as flattery. It's meant to be a tribute to the Chinese people. This is made by people who loved the history of China. These are people that loved the appearance and the beauty of the culture of China. We wanted to show it to the world in a way that would make it look great.
Do you have any target audience for Kung Fu Panda 3?
No, I think it was more like if you like a good story and you like good, accessible characters, I think that's the audience for Kung Fu Panda.
Will it be set in ancient China?
Ancient China? Well, it's not set in any particular history, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't make it exactly a historical place, but we certainly try to use elements of history and use elements of geography in China in order to give that layer that would be extra beautiful. And
we know that the Kung Fu Panda 3 will be made in China as a co-production.
Yes.
And what do you think of your Chinese partner, the Oriental DreamWorks?
I think it's a huge opportunity. There is so much talent in this country, and the interest in Kung Fu Panda has been so huge for the first film and the second film that really to have the Chinese audience or Chinese people actually contribute in making the third one, it's getting ownership of the characters in the whole world. So it's not just a homage to China, it actually is made in China. So that's a real huge thing for us.
And we've noticed that in Kung Fu Panda 2, there are many Chinese and Oriental elements. And you have successfully delivered those elements to the world audience. And how did you make it?
We researched a great deal, and we also came here for a research trip because it really was important to us to get authenticity. So we researched every single detail, every single piece of the movie, even very, very minor background details like patterns on a wall or pictures. Those are all researched, and we try to make it so that people could actually enjoy it as an inside joke sometimes.
Yeah, and you've been to Chengdu before in 2008.
Yes.
And you've visited the Panda Breeding Center.
Yes, we saw the Panda Breeding Center. It was such an inspiration for us. It actually helped us write the story when we went to visit all the baby pandas. And as you could probably see in the movie itself, there was a lot of baby poo in there.
Yeah.
That was directly from our visit.
Do you have any advice about how to tell a Chinese or Oriental story to the world audience?
Just be true to the characters. I think there is universal things in all human stories that everyone can understand, but particularly in a Chinese story, we have to make sure we do our research.
And for example, what is universal?
Universal things that we all want in life. We all need things like love or family or our sense of identity. All these things are things that drive every one of us. And that's something that helps us identify with a character in a movie, and that's what makes us root for them, that we want them to win.
And what has prompted you to accept to direct Kung Fu Panda 2, particularly when the first installment has become worldwide success?
I worked on the first movie for 4.5 years. And it was something that I'd worked on that for so long because I loved the characters so much. I signed on instantly. So when the second one came along and they asked me if I wanted to direct it, how could I turn that down? It would be crazy.
Did you have much pressure or face a lot of challenges as a female director?
Oh, it's definitely a great deal of pressure. So much support from everyone on the movie. All the crew was just so supportive. And we've worked together for now probably 10 years. So we know each other quite well.
And I have to ask, where are the female directors in Hollywood, they're so rare.
There are a few. There are a few. I think we're a bit quieter, maybe. But there are a few, and there's more all the time. And it's nice to see students very interested in getting into it now that they see different faces in it. So I think it's all going to get better as time goes on.
What do you think are the advantages or disadvantages for a female director?
Absolutely none, because it's completely gender neutral, the job. It's not like it affects the job at all. I joke that you can't have a meeting in the men's bathroom, but that's about the only thing that's different. Everybody forgets that there's a woman director. No one even thinks about it.
And how did you strike a balance between your family life and your career?
I try not to work weekends. And I make sure I try not to work late at night. I work very hard to get my work done during the day. And everyone on the crew is super efficient and super talented, so it makes it a lot easier for me.
How has your personal background influenced your directing of the film?
I love Hong Kong action movies. Yes, I love Kung Fu movies. Everybody on the crew grew up watching these films.
How do you think China and the US can further deepen their cultural exchanges?
I think it's just a process of globalization. Everything in business now is becoming global, and certainly the more interaction there is, the better it is for everyone. There are audiences everywhere that want to see great films, and I think everyone can work together and make these great films together.
And a lot of animation made by DreamWorks kind of like transcend beyond the ages, like they target at adults, not just children. How did DreamWorks achieve it?
I think we really tried hard to make sure it's funny for us when we're working on the movie, and most of the people working on the movie are adults. So we try to make sure that it's funny for us, and also try to make sure there's something that we'd want our children to watch. So we'll put jokes in there for some of the adults, and sometimes the kids won't get them. And then right after that, we'll put a joke that the kids will get, and the adults will go, yeah, that's for the kids. But you have to make sure that there's something in there for everyone.